Imagine you've just had a long day, whether you've just had a hard day being at school, a long shift at work, or maybe even just a day socialising. You've just got home, ready to relax. Perhaps you decide to take a shower or just wash your face. You'll probably get changed into something more comfortable from your extensive wardrobe. You've got plenty to choose from. Then you'll want to unwind by sitting yourself in front of your flat screen on your soft, comfy couch. Maybe watch a movie on Netflix or watch some TV. Perhaps go on your phone and lose hours scrolling through social media. Surely you'll be hungry soon. Maybe you'll either cook something you've bought in advance or maybe even get a takeout if you can't be bothered to cook. Once you're relaxed, you'll go to bed just like any other regular night. You almost certainly won't be thinking about how lucky you are. It's just any other regular night. Though the uncomfortable truth is that others, many others, are not as fortunate as you. These luxury goods and lifestyles are so often taken for granted. There is no need to feel bad about your fortunate circumstances, but just be aware that some people, rather a lot of people, do not have these luxuries, nor even the basic necessities. The United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, previously known as the Millennium Development Goals, provide reliable statistics and information as they work towards 17 development goals to be completed by 2030. First world problems will focus on four main objectives from the UN's goals, being clean water and sanitation, hunger, poverty, and education, which are often all taken for granted in first world nations. By putting it into perspective and imagining yourself in the shoes of someone who doesn't have the opportunity to access what can be considered basic necessities, it is shocking. Water scarcity affects more than 40% of the world's population. In 2015, 4.5 billion people lacked safely managed sanitation services, and 2.3 billion lacked even basic sanitation. Water stress affects more than 2 billion people, with this figure projected to increase as do increases in temperatures, which leads to drier conditions. To maintain the increase in the accessibility of safe and affordable drinking water for all, we must invest in adequate infrastructure, provide sanitation facilities, and encourage hygiene. Protecting and restoring water-related ecosystems is essential. High levels of poverty, conflict, and other emergencies lead to an increase in the number of children out of school. Though there has been progress in other nations, there still remains large disparities in school enrolments, especially between rural and urban areas. Achieving inclusive and quality education breaches the gap and reaffirms the belief that education is one of the most powerful and proven vehicles for sustainable development. Still, 57 million primary-age children remain out of school, more than half of them in sub-Saharan Africa. 103 million youth worldwide lack basic literacy skills, and more than 60% of these are women. Extreme hunger and malnutrition remain a huge barrier to development in many countries. In 2017, there were estimated to be 821 million people chronically undernourished. This is often as a direct consequence of environmental degradation, drought, and biodiversity loss. Over 90 million children under 5 are dangerously underweight. By promoting sustainable agriculture, supporting small-scale farmers, and equal access to land, technology, and markets, this can lead to ending hunger. Though this requires international cooperation to ensure investment in infrastructure and technology to improve agriculture productivity. 736 million people, 10% of the world's population, still live in extreme poverty. Over 1.3 billion people live in multidimensional poverty. Half of all these people living in poverty are under 18. As of 2015, about 736 million people still lived on less than $2.70 Australian a day. Rapid growth in countries such as China and India have lifted millions out of poverty, but progress has been uneven. Women are more likely to be poorer than men because they have less paid work, less education, and own less property. New threats brought on by climate change, conflict, and food insecurity means even more work is needed to bring these people out of poverty. Through continuous support, organisations such as the United Nations are able to make a change and allow for equal resources and therefore equal opportunities for all. Underdeveloped nations do not stand a chance in evolving if they do not receive the same prospects as those nations that have.